Hello, good morning. Welcome to We Can Do Better podcast with John Kim and Sean Galanos.
I think we could do better with our intro.
I think that was good.
It seemed a little lackluster, Sean.
I
Did you
mean,
not sleep last night?
It's Monday morning.
Yeah.
I had a really late Saturday night. I came home at 5 a.m. 4 a.m.
Well,
4
anything
a.m.
exciting?
Yeah, Halloween party called Pandemonium.
Wow. And how
Yeah,
was
it
it? What
was fun.
happened?
Well, I was on a date. Actually, I had a first date at a party, which was kind of fun. We met on Field. Do you know about Field?
Yeah.
For everybody who doesn't know, it's a sex positive, kinky, positive, you know, uh, polyamorous, open relationship, positive type of. It's like for alternative folks, I guess.
So do you go on field when you want to satisfy kinks, or no, field is just for anyone who's kind of non-monogamous? Like why field as opposed to, Bumble or the other dating app?
I think Field just has more alternative type people. But you can
Mm,
find people who are into monogamy on Field. They might just be a little bit more kink positive or like know what they want in the kink sphere. But you don't even have to be kinky to be on Field. It's just like it's more alternative. It's
yeah.
less mainstream.
What makes you alternative?
Not being mainstream.
It seems like Field is kind of like the edgy underground dating app.
Yeah, you can
You know,
you can have sexier photos that are hidden until you match with people.
mm,
There's and there's a lot of I learn new terms on that all the time, on Field all the time. Actually, one that I learned recently is swerf and turf.
swerf and turf. What is that?
Those are two different words. Swerf is sex worker exclusionary radical feminism. So it's basically a label for a woman who supports mainstream feminism but opposes sex work, believing that is ultimately oppressive. So
Mm.
it's feminism that excludes sex workers.
Oh, that's interesting. I
I-
what? It's not really
yeah,
fair
it's not fair. No,
because how do you say you're pro and empowering women and then but not these women?
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So that's something that I learned. There are people that are like, yeah, no swerfs, no turfs. I don't
What's a
want to.
turf?
A TERF is a trans exclusionary radical
Mm.
feminist. So it's a feminist that excludes transgender women.
Things are getting very complicated in this
Yeah,
world.
I mean, when I have to go look up terms
Yeah.
online,
Yeah.
it's getting complicated.
Everything is in fine print, and you must read things, or you're going to offend someone,
But also, we're going to offend people
no matter what.
no matter what. And we're
Yeah,
just trying, hopefully we do the best we can.
yeah. Hey, speaking of fine print, if you ever think about having a child, what is in the fine print that no one reads is you'll probably get scattered sleep, maybe for the first 8 years. I think I would say that the first 8 years. Imagine after the first 2 years of getting the routine of the baby now sleeping, imagine a little gremlin at any time of the night um, will come into your room and jump on your bed. Probably 5 out of the 7 nights. You don't know when, you don't know what time, and then turn sideways. Just and then it's then you and your partner probably can't sleep the whole night.
You know about Hell Week? If you want to become like
Only in the
a,
fraternity.
I think yeah, maybe it's for fraternities, but I think there is like, if you're going to be like a Navy SEAL or something.
Oh yeah, you don't sleep, right?
Yeah. So this
Sleep
is like,
deprived.
that sounds like that, where you have
Well,
like a
I'm okay
toddler.
with it. I'm okay with it because I've had insomnia and so I adjust pretty fast. Vanessa it's crushing her, man. I mean, when she doesn't get sleep, she's a different person. So
What's the solution here? I feel like listeners are going to tell us in the discussion post, but like,
yeah,
what?
and it's not everyone, it's not every child.
Of course.
But I just it's something that no one ever talks about. Is that if you have a kid, the idea that they're going to come into your room. And of course, we could, prevent that. We could train her. We could do all these other things, but that's really hard too. So we have a king size bed, and she jumps in 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, pretty much every night. And then she turns sideways, and when she's sleeping, she tosses and turns, and so in the middle of your bed, you just have this
Yeah.
chaos, this little tornado.
You ever considered crate training?
There is sleep training, which is controversial. We did that early on, which was great. It got us sleep, and then now as the child gets older, uh, at 5, she's gonna bang on doors and shit. So unless you start putting locks on doors, it's really hard to.
They start rebelling.
I mean, she's like a little human. She talks. She has opinions. So like, if you try to, because sleep training is all about letting them cry it out, right? And so at this age, the only way we can do it is if we like put a lock on the door, and that's, I mean, it's tough to put a lock on the door and your child screaming and all that. So
I was going to suggest that there must be a way to
you said
prevent her
crate.
from.
Maybe crates are the way to go, like you said. Put a lock on
Well,
a crate.
crates, yeah, we just don't tell anybody that you're crate training your child because I
No,
feel
no,
like
no. Yeah.
they'll come for you. CPS.
Yeah, you in a crate, and then you just put a thick blanket over the crate, and like birds, when they're in darkness, it makes them calm. So maybe that would help the child. Is a padlock and a thick blanket over the crate. Um, so
I
maybe we'll
what
try that.
I will say that crate training for a dog is absolutely required and like
Oh yeah, no,
game
but
changer,
yes,
game
100%.
changer.
Yes,
And
game
people
changer.
hate doing it. People hate
Yes.
doing it. So I'm wondering, you know, what if you did put a lock on the door? What would happen?
I think you can, and there are sleep trainers who believe you should to a certain age. I just don't know at age now. I mean, she could kick the door, she could bang the. So when the child is very young, like 2 years old, sleep training, it just means she's in the crib and she's gonna cry for like 30 minutes, and it's controversial. Some people say
Yeah, yeah.
it's or some people,
It's going to
and
traumatize them.
yeah, but it is exactly like what you're saying with the dog, where it's one of the only ways to actually start getting sleep as a parent, and then you lay tracks for uh, the rhythm and the sleep patterns for the child. And I think it saved us, but as a but 5-year-old, 6-year-old, I don't know, man. That would be tough.
Well, here's my concern is that at that age, they could do all sorts of other shit while
Oh
you're
yeah, they
sleeping.
could they could
They could walk out the front door.
they could do anything. They could
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you don't want to let me in? Well,
yeah
I'm going to make some eggs, you know?"
they could grab your phone and call the police and be like, yeah, my parents are locking the door up, man.
Well,
They
where's
could.
no, the phone's in the bedroom, dude.
Well, she has an iPad. And anyway,
Oh my god, she's trying to call 911.
I
Like
wouldn't be surprised, man.
FaceTime 911 operator.
These little gremlins are savvy. Anyway, all that to say that, yeah, very little sleep last night.
All that to say that yeah, think about having kids.
Yeah, think about having kids. Think about having kids.
I keep, last week I said you said something about like, oh, when you have kids or something, and a couple weeks ago I told you that I thought I might not have kids,
Yeah,
and it's that might be a reality for me.
but is it because of things like this, the adjustment of life, sleep, and all that, or is it
Yeah,
more because you feel like why would you not have kids, or you don't really want kids?
well, I always thought I would have kids. I thought I would have 2 by 30 because my parents had 2 by like 26 or something.
Yeah, wow.
And that's a different generation. But then
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, I have like a hard time just taking care of myself.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
I
get it.
know that having a kid would throw me in the deep end where like I will adapt and I will be a great dad and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, dude, it's already so hard for me emotionally just to like live my life. Like I can't even imagine having to care for a human.
I'll tell you what, being a parent makes me connect dots on why our parents were the way they were. You know what I'm
That
saying?
doesn't, yeah, sure, but that doesn't feel like a good reason to have a kid.
No, it's not a good reason. You just understand more. And our parents had us younger, so man, if I had a child at 26, dude, I mean, I would have hung in there and I would have done the best I can, but I would have been a fucking wreck. I would have been um, angry, sleep deprived. I just would not be a good person to be around, you know?
But you'd have a 25-year-old kid right now, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Then as you get older, right? Then you guys could work out together and and do things.
Yeah,
Uh,
get it. I rode motorcycles with my dad. Not a lot because my
yeah.
mom, she wouldn't actually let him go for rides with me because if I died, she would never forgive him.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he had to sneak. We snuck away for a couple motorcycle rides, but
Wait, how old were you
35.
when you first got on the your bike with your dad?
No. I had my own motorcycle.
No.
No, I had my own
Oh,
motorcycle.
how old
Yeah,
were
yeah.
you when you were on the back of his bike? Because that's something I think about, and if
I
that's
never
something I should.
really. I went on like a handful of rides with my dad. I never really got on the back of the
Yeah,
bike.
yeah,
My mom wouldn't deal with
yeah.
that.
I also don't know if I ever want that. Just because if we go down, I mean, the guilt. If anything happens to my daughter because of me, that would be hard to live with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
but I'll throw you on the back of my bike.
Yeah, I can't wait to ride 2 up, dude. It's gonna be so fun. Just me and you going up to Idlewild, a couple hours,
Wheelies.
just holding on
Yeah.
tight. Where
What about we put
listening?
you on? What about we switch it up? We put you in the front.
Yeah,
And
facing you. I get
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Listening
That's
to
the.
Bone Thugs. It'll be sick, dude.
Let's do it, man. Let's
I
change
feel like
the
that's
change the temperature.
illegal.
It might be illegal, but hey, speaking of dudes on bikes, have you ever seen? Ever? I've never in my life seen two men on a bike.
We've already talked.
Heterosexual.
We can't talk about this again. We've already went through this.
Oh, did we?
We had a whole conversation on it, like
Oh.
episode 5 or something.
God, we were running out of things to talk about, Shaun.
No, we're not. It's just that you're bringing up the goodies. You're bringing up the classics.
Oh, shit.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Nothing.
It's too early to be in syndication.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I've got a whole list of shit. Okay, first of all, remember we didn't know why they call it Molly, MDMA, why they called ecstasy Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, it used to be all these like pressed pills. When I was raving back in the day, we'd buy these pills from the dealer, and they would have a little stamp on them, and it'd be like a Mitsubishi logo or something, or a dolphin, or so we'd be like, "Oh, you got any Mitsus?" or like whatever. Like that's how you knew what the
code word. Yeah.
Well, that's how also you knew like what. Like sometimes it'd be like, "Oh, dude, the double stacked Mitsus were so good," you know. They were sort of all kind of different blend of Molly, and then some, there was like speed in there and all this other shit, which made them really fun, but also like the come down was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then at some point, people started getting pure MDMA, pure molecules.
Oh, that's where the Molly. I thought it was named after like someone named Molly, but
yeah,
molecules.
So thanks to a listener for dropping that in one of the comments.
Nice. The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah. So I just wanted to close the loop on that. Hey, go coming back to sex workers.
Yep.
This is a pretty wild question, but have you ever visited or seen or paid for?
I knew this was fucking coming. Shaun never preps me. He just so we come in here and we just hit record, and I'm trying to go humor two dudes on a bike, keep it light, and then Shaun asks me things that I don't know. He asked me things that I don't know. I wouldn't say
could get us canceled, basically.
I don't think that would get us canceled. It's just such a it's one of those questions where you like if you ask someone like, have you ever cheated? And then they're like thinking, publicly you ask someone that, and they're thinking as they're backpedaling, fuck, do I answer this honestly? If I say I did, what's going to be the pushback? And also being a professional, it's one of those kind of questions. So Shaun's really good at that. I applaud you for the swing.
Thanks, man.
I mean, the pitch. That's the pitch.
You also don't have to swing. Like if at any point you don't
like that.
Answer.
I don't like that because then I feel like we're teasing the audience.
No, it's not a tease. I think it's okay to have boundaries. I think it's totally fine for you to be like, hey, you know what? I really don't want to answer that right now. I think that's totally fine because I think boundary setting is important. And I won't make fun of you. I won't be like, oh, come on, dude. I would just be like, cool. And then I'll answer it. Like, I really want there to be space for there to be things that are sacred here, even in this podcast.
Early 20s, first relationship. I think we were 5 years in. I thought I was going to marry her. Have not had a lot of sex or sexual experiences with many people at that point. And I was like, I'm so scared that I'm going to marry this person and I'm just going to have sex with this one person for the rest of my life. What do I do? And in my 20s brain, I thought, I'll just I'll explore like masseuses. I'll explore sex workers. Less of like full sex, more like happy ending, stuff like that. And so I got a few of those, and I thought, okay, this is how I'm gonna get it out of my system. And I convinced myself that if I do this, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing this so I don't cheat. I'm doing this for when we get married. Here's what's funny: we never got married. Obviously, it was it was young, early love, and she ended the relationship just because it kind of fizzled out. It wasn't devastating or anything.
Flat
And
soda.
then it was a flat soda breakup. Like 30 years later, when I was becoming a therapist, we ran into each other in an Al-Anon meeting, because when you're becoming a therapist, you have to put in a certain amount of hours and all. So I've been to like hundreds of meetings, and we ran into each other, and we're like, hey, let's catch up. We go eat, and she's like, I have a confession for you. When we were together back in the day, I was at a concert and I ended up kissing some dude at a concert. So I technically cheated on you. We laughed about it. And I said, well, I have a confession for you too. You cheated on me, and I got a few happy endings. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
That's a fun story.
kind of cute. Not like a, crazy story, but I guess the answer is
No,
yes.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of edgy though, because you were in a relationship, and so you're sort of admitting to have like went outside your relationship for a sexual experience.
Yep. And and also when I was single, I have once or twice I have, because there's something there's a fantasy component to it. And then what's that movie? It's the whole high class escort kind of fantasy.
Oh, Pretty Woman?
No, that's a rom com. What's the darker one? Like 50 Shades of Grey, kind of. I never saw but like a darker fantasy to it. And then being single, it was I was busy, it was convenient, and I wanted to execute this fantasy. So
Are you saying that you saw some high priced escorts?
yes,
Nice. How was that experience? I've never done that. How was that experience?
not a lot. Once, it was like once or twice when I was single.
Did it meet the fantasy? Did it meet your expectations?
No, you know what I learned from that experience was, if you're paying someone, it doesn't feel the same, because it's not like they're not. I didn't feel desired. I felt. I mean, it was cool in the fact that it's like you can order from the menu and you could say, hey, here's what turns me on, here's what I would like, and then there's that exchange, that mutual exchange. But they're not ripping your clothes off because they think you're attractive or because they desire you. It's like they're quote unquote working, and so that
Yeah, that's
we don't
the
think about that.
underlying feeling.
Yeah.
You didn't pay enough for the GFE.
Oh, I didn't know that was on the menu.
Yeah, dude. You know about the GFE?
I'm assuming that's something about like a girlfriend experience.
You got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
girlfriend experience. Yeah, I
And
think
so
it's just
what is that? They fake they just talk like you're.
yeah,
Oh.
like they're your partner. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
all very sweet and loving and
Yeah.
less transactional. But I think you have to pay more for the GFE.
Yeah, but those were my experiences. Some happy endings in my early 20s, and then one or two when I was single.
Cool. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Wait, what about you, fucker?
Okay, hold on. A couple things before we move to me. I'll get there.
Yeah.
You dropped the word Al-Anon,
Mm-hmm.
and Al-Anon is the partner program to AA, Alcoholics
Yes.
Anonymous. And
Yes.
Al-Anon was founded because the men, this is all very gendered and heteronormative, but the men had drinking problems. And so they would
Yep.
meet in the living room and talk about alcoholism. The wives of the men were in the kitchen, and they were talking about being in love with or living with an alcoholic. And so Al-Anon started as a support group for people who have addiction in their family or in
Yes.
their friends.
Yeah, it's huge.
And so partners of people who are alcoholics.
Right.
This is before women were joining AA. So if you are struggling with your partner's drinking, regardless of gender, or your family's drinking, or a brother or a friend or something, and it's their drinking is impacting your life, then Al-Anon is a really great support group for that. It's a 12-step program. You can go to Al-Anon. That's ALANON.org. We'll put the link in the show notes, and you can find a meeting. There's like quizzes that you can answer. There's a lot of literature online, and you can even find a Zoom meeting. So you can go with your camera off and get some support and sort of just like lurk a little bit to see if it could be helpful and supportive to you.
And I got to say, all these 12-step meetings, even if you just go and you're a fly on the wall, you get so much value just listening to other people's stories,
Yeah, and I do want to be clear that not every meeting allows flies on the wall. Like you don't have to say anything, but some meetings like they want you to identify as an alcoholic, and some
Right.
meetings are open to
Right.
the public, and you could just go and be a fly on the wall. And usually it says that in the meeting literature, like what kind of meeting this is.
Yeah.
So thanks, John, for exposing us to Al-Anon.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I did a little Al-Anon myself as like, just because I think dad struggled with alcohol. And when you're an alcoholic in 12-step recovery, then a lot of your friends end up being alcoholics. And so you absolutely can identify as someone who might need Al-Anon because you're surrounded by alcoholism.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two is the happy ending massages, I think, are very common.
Well, you were on the other side. You were giving them.
I was giving them. Yeah, I was giving them. But I think for men, there's a lot of men seeking happy ending massages.
Yeah.
And there's also some question as to, hey, is this cheating? Right? Like, so I think some guys can justify the happy ending as not cheating because in their brain, they've done the mental gymnastics required. But I think
it's not in a course that you will file it under not cheating.
Yeah, but I think most people would find that inappropriate and totally a boundary, a massive betrayal of the relationship.
Well, here's how you know. Flip it. Imagine your partner. Are you cool with, you know what I'm saying? Flip it and see, imagine your partner getting a happy ending massage. Or, you know, how does that make you feel? Would you say that's betrayal? And most people would say yes. So yeah.
That's a very good litmus test. Very simple litmus test of just flipping it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've actually had 1 or 2 experiences at a brothel in Panama.
Oh, interesting.
I moved to Panama like in my early 30s for a year. I was starting a hostel in Panama City, Panama. And I had a really hard time. I wasn't meeting people and I was starting to get really bad. And that's the same time that I read Neil Strauss's The Game.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I got to use the game strategies. And it felt so bad and like weird. And I was like getting really desperate. And my friends were like, dude, you stink. Like you stink of desperation, you know? And so my buddy was like, come on, let's go. And he brought me to a brothel in Panama.
And how was that experience? Because I would assume, like for me, the fantasy was like, you know, the like risky business, right? It was the very attractive woman coming to your house or meeting somewhere. But a brothel where it's like you literally have a menu you're ordering. Is it pop the fantasy bubble? Is it kind of because I've never done that. I don't think I'd be attracted to going into it's like going into a restaurant for sex.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like kind of dingy, like
you
late night parties. So like it kind of
makes sense.
It kind of feeds that part of my soul a little bit, like being in a place I shouldn't be and sort of like a dark underbelly. And also like I feel like if you're ordering, like in Vegas, they have those guys that like flip the cards, you know?
Yeah.
And they're trying to sell you escorts and there's a picture of a really hot woman. And then when you call, it's like a totally different woman who shows up. Like I cannot do that. I can't have sex with someone that I don't know what they look like.
Oh, of course. So you're saying at a brothel there you see them, you see what you're getting. Right away.
You're like you 100% get to pick who you have sex with.
That's a good point.
And so I went and the condom broke because she was using baby oil as lubricant, which is not, you should not be using baby oil as a lubricant.
It ripped while you were having sex?
It ripped, yeah.
Wow.
And then I was like,
did that scare you?
I was a little scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like nothing happened. I got tested like a few months later or a month later or something. But it did lift the veil of desperation. I was no longer as desperate after having sex.
Calm clarity.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It just like it scratched an itch and I wasn't like obsessively looking for sex. So it was a fun experience. I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't know if I was like, I left there feeling like great about myself.
No, I don't think you do. There is, and I don't think there should be, but there's like shame and guilt and kind of like a grossness that you feel if you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's society. I don't know if that's our own stuff. Maybe the secretiveness of it, or I don't know. Maybe in other countries where it's more open, it's like not a big deal. It's like you have lunch, you pay for sex, you have coffee. I don't know.
I think it depends. I mean, there is the whole paying for sex thing, so it's very transactional, and also like there is some element of like, am I using this person for sex? But then at the same time, they're using us for money, so it's like it does feel like a fair exchange to a certain degree.
Yeah, and there's also a part of me that wants to support them. Like
Yeah,
I don't feel bad giving like I don't feel bad giving them money or on top of that gratuity. I just feel like they're I just imagine what their life is like, and they're probably also scared, and this is something they may feel shameful about. So the way that I could support is just to compensate them that way.
well, that depends. I think there are plenty of sex workers who do not feel any shame about their work because it's a legitimate form of work, and
Sure,
they're not
sure.
scared because they've done it and they have control and they have measures in place to make sure that they're safe. It's a very big topic, and also I think this goes without saying that like if you're being exploited as a sex worker, we are not condoning this. This is, like sex trafficking and all that kind of stuff is
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
No,
about
no.
like empowered people who choose this lifestyle
Right,
willingly and who are okay
right.
with it. We're going to get a ton of comments about this stuff.
Oh,
Like
I'm sure. I'm sure.
people really hate.
Sean's always hitting the beehive like a pinata.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But you know what I like? What's interesting about this and telling about us is so we always have overlap, Shaun and John. I mean, I guess even in our names, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then when we talk about experiences, it's like my version and Shaun's version, they are different. So like, even in this case, brothel versus the escort.
Yeah,
But then
totally.
the overlap is just being two dudes that have experienced this,
Yeah.
so.
I hired a trans woman sex worker in Thailand. We met on like a website. It was like a
Oh, I
dating
hear in
app for.
Thailand. I've never been to Thailand, but I hear in Thailand it's like literally like just getting Grubhub or pizza. I mean, I hear it's everywhere. I guess
I don't
depending where
know
you
that
go.
it's that common, but
Yeah,
it's definitely like not as frowned upon. I don't know. I don't know what their general outlook is on sexuality, but the United States is a very prude place.
dude, I have a friend, female, who went to Thailand, and she's like, you know what, John? There was a lot of hot male sex workers, and I said, fuck it. I was single. I was like, I'm gonna go eat laid. And she paid for one, and he was like this, abs and really attractive physically. And he just pulled her into the restroom, and he's like, and she said it was amazing. And I was like, good for you. And she's like, yeah, everyone around me was like, what are you doing? You're crazy and all that. And I was like, awesome. I love that you like did that for yourself.
Here's what's coming up for me. Like, life is too short not to
Yeah.
experiment and to like be curious about your sexuality. Even if it means having to hire
Dude,
someone
I
to
agree
scratch that itch.
100%. I agree 100%. And I thought by the time I was 51, I would be not even be thinking about that or caring about that. But it's just that life force is in me just as much as when I was in my 30s. It's just a little different, but it's there, man. And it's life. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a fucking epic segue for this question. So let's just do it. This
All right.
epic, John. It's like almost like we freaking wrote it.
Perfect.
All right. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Alex, and I'm calling from Tempe, Arizona, originally from Los Angeles. My question is something that you posted on your Instagram relating to being a hopeless romantic. I've always enjoyed meeting new women, flirting, having multiple sexual partners, which is not bad in itself, but the bad came when I was in what were supposed to be exclusive and committed relationships, and I still did all of those things I mentioned. I felt like a better man when I had multiple sexual partners, so I have this conflicting feeling because sometimes I say, oh, maybe that's just who I am or that's how I'm built. But other times I wonder if maybe there's more, maybe if I really dig deep enough, and dig into all the underlying trauma that I will be able to be in a committed and exclusive monogamous relationship and content and happy without the urge or the need to look for attention elsewhere. So I guess my question is, did you ever struggle with this cheating on your partner behavior? And if so, what were the driving forces for you behind this behavior? And what did you do to fix it? Or how do you fix it?
Okay. There's a lot going on in this question. I
Yeah.
don't really think it's about the cheating. I think it's about this guy gets a lot of validation from having multiple partners and
Sure.
flirting and
Yeah.
likes how he feels when he's like that. And what really stuck out for me at this question is I've had these questions before myself. Like, am I supposed to be polyamorous, or am I just not trying hard enough at monogamy? Like, if I really find the right partner and I dig deep, can I be happy in a monogamous relationship and like let go of this desire to be with other people or to flirt with other people? This is what I heard at the core of this question.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you kind of stripped it down to the bare bones of the question. You know, all of this is there's no blanket answer. It depends on the individual and what you consider is healthy for you and not. Some people may be like, yeah, that's how I'm wired, and that's I'm not doing anything. You know, just I'm being honest with my partners, whatever. In this case, I think he's cheating. I'm not sure, but this is like the self-inventory thing. You have to ask yourself, is this behavior me running, hiding, numbing, getting something from someone that I don't have, or I'm filling holes? Or is this behavior expanding me? Is it who I am at my core? Is it what I want in this life? And if you do want multiple partners, then I mean, I think you got to be honest with yourself first, and then with other people, and you don't have to be monogamous, of course. But you can't what is that saying? You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it makes no sense to me. Like,
It's the dumbest. Like, why
if you
would
have
you
your
have a
cake, why
cake?
would you not eat it? Yeah, I don't. That's weird.
What are you
But
supposed to do with it?
yeah, but if you choose to be in a monogamous relationship and then say to yourself, "Oh, but you know what? I'm not. You know, I need multiple partners, and that's
I'm
who
just
I am.
wired this. I'm just wired
this
this
way."
way.
Then
Yeah.
there's the dishonesty, right? So, like, I'm interested in, are you being honest with yourself? And of course with other people. And if you're not, you are disconnecting with self. You are having your cake and eating it too. You are betraying your partner. You're doing things that definitely, I think, you will not be proud of, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And you're going to hurt other people in the.
hurting other people. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like, if having multiple partners is the cake, then just be polyamorous, and then you can eat the cake.
Or
you can
open,
have
or
it.
whatever. Yeah. Or whatever. Like, customize and find someone who is on the same page, who wants the same things.
Yeah. I identify with this dude because I have, other than the cheating part, I've never cheated on anybody. I just don't see the point. Just like break up and then go do what you want to do. But I have thought to myself, oh, am I just like so flirty that I should just be polyamorous? And then there's a part of me that's actually scared to own that because it's still a little, to be honest with you, if I own that I'm polyamorous, then I have to close the door on any monogamous person as well.
Well, you also have to be okay with your partner loving other people.
Yeah.
You know, which is are you? Yeah. Is that? Do you think you can or no?
It's funny. I had that conversation today or this weekend. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I could see you. You know, you're the kind of person. Even if it's hard, you would I think get into a room and process it. And you seem like someone who would not just react from it, but actually look at it, where's it coming from, and really give it a healthy try. You know.
Yeah. I'm open. Like, I am very open to processing and like saying the real things. I had a whole bunch of situations this weekend that were crazy. Like, we had a lot of conversations with different people about the elephant in the room. And it feels so much nicer to get it out there.
Yeah, of course.
Like, needs are met, people are being seen, feelings are being processed. Like, it feels so much nicer and freer to do that.
I think the biggest thing about loving multiple people is who the fuck has the time? Who's got the time? I mean, one relationship requires so much to love multiple people and to show up emotionally and, you know, date them and spend time with them. That's, to me, it feels like a full-time job.
Yeah. I mean, I think people, I might have said this before, but like partners will like share each other's Google calendars. They have like a date Google calendar to see like what the openings are.
Yeah, that is the next level. Holy shit. I don't know, man. I mean, listen, Nothing's impossible these days. I mean, I hear new things every day on how people are living and what they're choosing. And so, yeah,
I think that
customization.
the customization, yeah, I mean, you wrote about like the traditional model for relationships. We could throw it out the window if we want, and we can build something from scratch.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
I like that.
Vanessa and I went backwards. We met, blind date, had a child, then bought the house, then got married. We went all back, and I think this is the way to do it. Most people meet, get married first, right? They sign
They buy the house.
they buy the house, and then they have the child. And by the time they have the child, they're like, I don't even know if I want this. And then the child brings up so much in the individual, and it's such a journey. It's probably the biggest journey, one of the biggest life-changing journeys for any couple, that if you put that at the front, you're going to know if the relationship can withstand that. If you put that at the end, it's like you've already bought property and got married and you're kind of locked into this thing. And now you guys realize we can't do this. I feel like that's the wrong way to go. It's like, but anyway.
I mean, dude, what if you have the kid and you go, oh, actually, yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I know. And I think that's what I'm saying. I think if you front load it, you know,
It's
very
better?
fast. Oh, you mean what if? Oh, well,
What
if
about
you,
all the people who should have gotten married first to realize that they shouldn't have kids together?
no, but if you have the kid first, you know, you live together, then have the kid, and then if you realize it's not going to work, I mean, you guys could arrange something, co-parent, do something before now buying property, like before committing more and more and more. You know, I don't know.
You're making it sound like selling a house is more complicated than co-parenting for 16 years.
Marriage, house, all of these things that we try to do before the kid, I think. This is just for me. Many people will disagree because I followed that blueprint early on and it didn't work.
I think you just knocked Vanessa up, and then she was like, "Yo, you got to lock this down. You got to like marry me, and we got to buy a house together."
That definitely was not the case. Yeah, we're very open as far as like there are no shoulds in our relationship. As far as, okay, you did this, now you need to do this. There's just a lot of checking in, and you know, where we should be. What's honest to us at this point in our lives, that kind of thing.
Well, speaking of getting married, this time next week, you will be married again, I think, right? You're already married?
This is well, we're doing the ceremony, so
yeah. You're having a wedding.
We're having a wedding, but we're really making it more of a celebration party. Less about the actual getting married, more about spending time with friends who normally would not be in the same place because we've collected them through all the corners of our lives, you know, chapters of our lives.
I'm honored, man. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's just a handful of people in Mexico. So
the tickets to get there were so insanely expensive. It was crazy.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. You know, because you're coming from where? Canada?
From Montreal, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, there's here's the thing. There's a direct flight, but it's like some weird ass company called like Suntour or something. And they only have one flight a week. And if you go and look up reviews for Suntour, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is going to be one of those things where the flight gets canceled and I don't end up going. And so I paid for the more expensive ticket that had like more flights so that they could like reroute me to get there.
Well, look, I can't guarantee an amazing time, but so far it's set up to be pretty amazing.
Why would you not guarantee an amazing time?
I just can't guarantee shit like that.
I'm not going to be wedding in Cabo. Of course, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, I don't know. I just can't guarantee it.
So I had to go shopping this weekend because I don't have beachy, flirty, fancy outfits in Montreal. Yeah. Everything's in storage. So I went to the whatever department store or something, kind of like a middle range department store, but like they don't have. It's all fall and winter colors. They don't have any summer stuff, right? And like Mexico in November is like total summer beachy vibes. So we found some stuff, and I found some linen shorts, and I'm waiting to get them hemmed because I wanted them shorter so I could show off my legs more.
Oh, nice! I love it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go pick those up today. The guy was like, "Oh, you want these shorter?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like much Shorter.
Yeah, shorts. I want them shorts above the knee.
Above the knee, yeah.
Yeah, they're not even
Mid-thigh.
pants. It's gonna be 80, so it's gonna be shorts and just t-shirts, shorts, taco trucks, dancing. Very different than the first time I got married, which was 150 people on a farm in Oregon with the white dress and the whole all of that stuff.
Whoa.
What?
I mean, that's different.
Well, of course. I mean,
that's like a real wedding.
Yeah, I did that. I did the real, the cans dragging behind the limousine and the happily ever after. I did all that, and it's maybe that was, I don't know if that was honest to me, but we both did it because we were young, and that's what you're supposed to do. But now, as a 51-year-old with choices, we're like, no white dress. Vanessa's gonna be in like a Mexican, I don't know what it's called, but it's like
a poncho.
Like a poncho, yeah. I'll be in board shorts. No, she's gonna be in like a floral. I don't know. Like I'm imagining, what I wanted was 90s Antonio Banderas kind of thing. But my suit's green, forest green. I got floral shit on it. I got flower shirt, no tie,
cool.
no, yeah.
Great. I can't wait.
Literally a taco truck on the beach, on the sand, taco truck.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Flip flops? I didn't know the wedding was actually on the sand.
It's on the. I mean, yeah, but people are still wearing shoes. It's like grass sand, but it's a private beach. It's not.
Okay.
It's not, yeah. They're not. There's going to be people laying out, getting.
Right. People aren't playing like paddleball behind you.
And it's also not the kind of beach you're used to. The nude beaches. The people will be wearing clothes.
Oh, that's when you said beachy fancy. I figured naked would be fine.
I don't know. Maybe for you by the end.
Hey, so flip flops, okay?
Dude, whatever you want. Whatever there's no, I'm wearing like something a little bit more. I can't wear flip flops.
No, you can't.
I'm wearing a suit.
I bought a fresh pair of Vans for your wedding.
Yeah, you're the Vans guy. I love it.
Okay, here. So this is like a really stupid thought. Oh, do you still want to go skinny dipping? Sorry, side note. Do you still want to go
I don't want to go. No, okay. I don't. Yeah.
And I am getting a tattoo on Wednesday, which means I'm kind of fucking myself from like being out in the sun swimming perspective.
Oh, but right. Yeah.
I also don't want to find a new artist in LA or in like I have an artist. I have an appointment. So
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about the second tattoo, by the way.
Nice. Okay. What was the time between the first and second? Like literally less than a month. And I knew this was going to happen. 3 weeks. There we go. Potato chips. Yeah.
Boom.
Sleeves, back tattoos.
Happening. Yeah, maybe I'll get on my leg. I don't know. I know what I'm getting. I just don't know where I'm getting it. But I'm going to let the artists help me kind of figure that out.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, here's a random thought that I had that my friend and I were kind of talking about last week. Like, we know that they're like moms, like women will have a child on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why aren't there more guys that have kids on their own?
I know. There are a few.
You know why?
I think there are many more in the gay community. I know lots of gay men who've got obviously have children, not hetero.
Here's the real reason. You know how hard it is to get a hold of a baby as a man?
Oh, you mean adopting?
Like a woman can just make one.
Well, yeah,
guys can't make one.
No, you have to
only adopt one,
or have a what's it called? It's a surrogate.
Surrogate, yeah.
Someone carry one for you, and yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like so low. The percentage is so low, and then adoption as a single man is probably insanely low.
Yeah,
and then gay men adopting is also probably insanely low. From most organizations are not going to like just have gay men adopt a baby. Right. Especially
maybe if they're a couple and they show security and, I'm assuming financials and all that. I think.
Yeah, sure. But I think that's a lot. This is like totally, I'm just guessing that there are a lot of adoption agencies that will not rent a baby. They will not give a baby to two men, like, because they're going to be like more conservative.
I feel like
organizations.
I feel like you've thought about this for you. As a single man?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
But my friend was like, because my friend just had a baby on her own, and I was like, why aren't there any more single dads? And she's like, because guys can't make babies.
Right.
It's like really hard for a guy to get a hold of a
Hold of a
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
just
I think there's that, but I also think there are maybe it's changing now, but I don't know if there's a lot of single men who want to be a single parent.
right. There's
You know?
that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like I have this deep desire,
Right.
like the calling to be a father, you know?
Yeah. Not everyone. There are some men that do, but yeah, as far as the masses, I think.
Well, here's my therapist and I were talking about like I've just been struggling a lot lately, just
Mm,
feeling purposeless and like low energy, and I am going to get my testosterone checked because that could just be like the obvious solution.
sure.
But my friend and I were talking about like how I'm not going through a burnout. I might be going through a burn in. I think we talked about this last week. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough responsibility. I don't have enough
Right.
constraints. I have like literally unlimited liberty and freedom.
Yeah.
And so it just like my life is just like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do
Right.
anything. And so in the meantime, I'm not really doing much of anything. And so it just feels purposeless. And I feel like if I had a
Yeah.
kid, I would have purpose. Something
I
happening over
mean
there?
sorry, I'm trying to wave the gardener down. He's got the blower.
Oh, do you want to go? Go tell him?
Okay, 1 second.
Okay. He's getting all shifty eyed.
Oh, amigo, hello, amigo. Can you cut it off because I'm on the yeah. Sorry, thank you. Yeah.
Did you tell him? You didn't tell him how long though. Just cut it off.
Hey, look, we're
We're
he's
almost
almost done. Yeah, if it's not the parents, it's the gardeners here at Kim
Oh,
resident.
dude, California is just like that's the state bird is the fucking leaf blower.
The blowers, and I don't, man, yeah, the whole I don't. They're loud, and I don't know how effective they are. Um, they just blow shit around. What were we talking about? I was going to say something before I.
That my life is
Oh,
purposeless and that having a child
yeah.
would solve that.
That would be swinging way in the other direction so much. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's not middle, dude. That's like fucking going from one
Yeah.
extreme to the other extreme,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you go from having complete freedom to basically, at
No
least the
freedom.
first couple, zero freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle, I think it would be good for you. And it seems like
Like a
that's
girlfriend
gonna,
or something.
well, structure, girlfriend, possibly, but also, you know, you said you feel kind of purposeless. So, you know, like, what are you building next? And which, you know, that kind of stuff. I think when you get, we'll have some conversations, maybe Mexico, but when you get back from Mexico, and also, you know, your move to LA, I think it's gonna start happening because it's gonna be around you.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's happening, and I'm kind of I'm like in the transitional space, the liminal
Yeah,
space between Montreal and LA, and that's
yeah,
so it's just like an awkward kind of time when you just I can't really get going on stuff, and I have to
yeah.
like close this out, and I'm also super sad about leaving Montreal.
Mm,
I have like a great community here, and all my friends have just reminded me like constantly, like, "Hey, dude, if things don't work out in LA, like it's fine. You can always come back here. We love you. Like we'll
mm-hmm.
be here for you." And like I love that so much. Like
Yeah, that's amazing.
I feel grateful, super grateful to have found a place or to know that I have a place that I can always come back to. And I don't think everybody has that. Like I think a lot of people might live in a place where they just don't feel super happy, and that's how I felt in
Yeah,
Flagstaff. I was like,
yeah.
this is terrible. Like I feel super isolated.
It's like a freshwater. It's like a saltwater fish in a freshwater bowl.
Well, I feel like, do they die? I think they die.
Well, their scales just get grayed out, and they're just, you know.
Mm.
And depending on your environment, I mean, if you took me out of LA and you threw me in an environment that was foreign to me that I did not like, I would get depressed very fast. But also, you know, I'm glad you shared this because it's proof that because Sean's very active, and it's not like he's just locking himself in the house. You're dating people, you're out and about, and you are um, out of your head, out of your house. I think
Oh, yeah.
you do have a life, you do have friends and all that, and still having a sense of whether it's feeling lack of purpose or feeling stagnant or feeling kind of, you know, all of that can both exist too. Because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, if I'm single and I'm dating and I'm busy, then, you know, it's going to be all good. But, you know, that's not always the case. So I think you sharing that is important for people going through the same thing.
Yeah, you could be doing all the things: exercise,
Yeah.
eating well, working,
Going to
volunteering,
brothels.
going to brothels, going to happy endings, cheating on your partner,
Yeah.
going to happy ending massages,
Yeah.
volunteering, reading, all that stuff, and still not be feeling really great. And that's
Right.
okay.
Right.
It's just like, kind of a season of your life that might not
Yeah.
be a highlight. I'm
Hey,
also, all right, go ahead.
the people that you have been dating, not working out, just single serving experiences.
Yeah, hard to
Yeah.
say. I mean, the
Okay.
fact is I'm leaving, so it's not,
Well, every time we do a podcast, it's a new date, a new person, someone, so
yeah, some are single serving,
yeah,
which I think it's okay to date someone just because you want to go on a date, when you want to
sure.
have like a friend hang, you want to have like some sort of chemistry, maybe make out. This latest person, though, I had met her at a music festival, and then we saw each other online, and then we actually had a date at this party this weekend. It was really sweet. But I told her beforehand, I go, "Hey, are you open to going on a date, knowing that I'm leaving in a week?"
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "Well, I might be. Actually, I don't have a problem with that, as long as I know that if we really get along, like, is there an opportunity for us to continue, getting to know each other?
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah.
if there isn't, then I'm way less interested in that. But if there is, like, yeah, let's hang out."
I love how open and communicative she was instead of playing games.
Yeah, and myself
Yeah.
too, right? Like,
Yeah.
go on a date without telling her that I'm leaving, and then like have to tell
Oh,
her on the
right.
date, and it's like,
Yeah.
why are you wasting my time? Like,
Yeah.
I'm willing for her to say no. I'm not open to that. So I'm willing to not go on a date, um, just so that we could be honest about the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah,
Except
and
I
I got one more question, but I'm
but by the look on your face, I don't know if we want to. I don't know if you have the energy to answer it. I'm excited to see you, man, and I also, um, yeah, I'm. Today is all just preparing to get on a plane. So
okay. Wait, let's. Okay, the look on my face was like, dude, this question is so fucking hard to answer.
oh, it was
And so
that. Oh, I thought it was a look like, oh fuck, I thought it was like homework. We have another
no, it was
question.
like,
Okay,
dude, we're gonna get. Okay, you know what? Let's
I
hold off
misread
on
you.
this. Let's hold off on this. Here's what I want to say. Leave us a review. We're still okay. Here's the deal. If you're listening to this right now, if you're listening and you're not driving, please leave us a review. If you like this podcast, actually, if you hate it, also leave a review. Like, we are invested in making this thing work. We're at 350 reviews right now, or ratings, I think, and we need to get to 1,000, according to John. Right?
Well, listen, that's a personal goal.
Okay.
It's not like we hit 1,000 suddenly.
We're millionaires.
No, that's not gonna happen. But it's a personal goal that I set for myself or for us, and that's we just said it's just a number we want to hit. That's all.
Okay, well, help us get there. And also, I love the feedback. And you know what? Sometimes we very rarely we get really shitty feedback, and I share it, right? And I just want to share a few pieces of very positive feedback. How do you feel about that, John?
Yeah, I feel great. I think it's a great way to end. I also want to say one of the things I love about this podcast is I think it's one of the only podcasts, and besides my own, which is not full control over it, is I just show up and we just have a conversation. And there's a part of me that sometimes after the episode, I find myself evaluating it or like, was it a value? Was it this? Like I find myself giving it a letter grade. And I'm fast to kind of remove that because I know that as long as we are just honest and having a good conversation, some episodes are going to land for people, some aren't. But as long as we're enjoying it, it's good. It's fun,
Well, here's what's interesting is sometimes I get off the recording and I go, yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, yeah, of
Could have
course.
done better. And then I'll get feedback for that episode going, wow, these guys have really stepped it up. That was the best episode I've ever heard. Like, it's like, what? Are you kidding?
And the episodes where you leave, you're like, oh, that one's gonna fucking blow people's minds, and you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I want to listen to this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've given it a fair shake. All right, so yeah, go ahead.
I want to remind myself and you that there may be a day. Let's say there will be a day when this becomes bigger, more production and stuff, and we're gonna look back and we'll be like, "Hey, remember when we used to just get on Zoom every Monday after you dropped off your kid and we just shot the shit?" God, it's now become such a thing. So I just want to, we've got to remind ourselves to enjoy this time.
Well, a note to go back to episode 22 at the end, as a reminder. When we do
Is that today's episode 22?
That's
Yeah.
today's episode.
Yeah. When we're at 1,000, be like, hey, remember episode 22? We're talking about brothels and
cheating on our partners.
Yeah, and now we can't do all this stuff, and now it's a big production, and we've got producers involved, and anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the producer, and I take about 12 to 20 minutes before the episode to put all this stuff together.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
But I'm also 3 hours ahead for now, so it's easier for me to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so Shaun and John is a match made in heaven.
Wow.
Yeah. Their vulnerability, wisdom, and insight is incredible. Pure honesty, transparency, and tender conversations humanity can learn from. Great dialogue and tons of laughs.
Is it arrogant of us to only read the positive reviews?
No, because we often only read the negative reviews.
Oh, okay. We're switching it up. Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah. So what I wanted to say is part of we can do better. Part of doing better is also recognizing when we are doing good.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, because you're right. Most of the time we do, we kind of embrace ourselves for the backlash or the criticism or what we can do better that people will have no problem telling us. So in today's episode, a little bit of positive sprinkled is nice.
Yeah, and I think that's important to do in your life. Like, yeah, we can always be doing better, but also let's recognize when we're doing like really well.
Accept the compliment. Okay.
Accept the compliments. Yeah. Also, I did get a compliment from someone saying that you shouldn't touch your hair. It's perfect the way it is.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah. And I do like your hair. I think it looks great. I think when you started growing it out like years ago, I was like, dude, this is awesome. He's like really.
Oh, thanks, man.
He's going full Keanu. It's really nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Keanu, but yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So love this podcast. The dynamic between John and Shaun is exceptional, and I find each episode fun, authentic, and thought provoking. And then the last one is actually just a paraphrasing because I remember reading it this morning saying that the transparency into our new relationship is an added bonus to all the other value that we're providing.
Wow.
Yeah.
It makes me, you know what, these reviews make me feel like you and I are a couple. You know what I'm saying? It feels like we're a couple. Hey, maybe we should have a baby, Shaun.
Well, if things don't work out with you and Vanessa.
Or do both. Hey.
Or do both. No, yeah, right. No, I know. Co-creating radical relationship.
Radical relationship. Yeah.
Design.
There's no one way anymore. It's
No.
It's like eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. There's no right way.
How do you eat a Reese's peanut butter?
That was a campaign, I think, in the 90s.
Oh.
There's no right way to eat a Reese's peanut butter cup.
There's no wrong way.
There's no wrong way. Yeah, there's no wrong way. Right now, I'm trying to bring that to relationships. I don't know if it landed, but anyway.
I go around.
Every time it's a new. I do it in a new way every time.
Every time?
Every time. Sometimes eat half. Sometimes nibble around. Sometimes like the crust, the little hard edge, and then you go
I go knife and fork.
That's it. Dude, if I saw you eating a Reese's peanut butter cup with a fucking knife and fork, we would have a conversation, man. That would affect our friendship.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this is coming from the guy who. This is coming from the guy who eats fucking pizza with a knife and a fork?
Not all the time. It depends on what type of pizza.
Wow,
but a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I was kidding.
Oh,
I was kidding. I didn't even know that you actually ate pizza with a knife and a fork.
Deep dish Chicago style. Sometimes you need a knife and a fork.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not talking about slices, man.
Can't fold that in half.
No, you can't fold that in half.
All right. Well, I'll see you in like 4 days, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for listening. And I'm sure I told Shaun I'm going to bring my portable microphone. And if the mood is right and we have some time, we're going to do our first on location podcast.
Okay, really quickly. I'm all about it. But the fact that you think you'll have enough time to carve out an hour during your fucking wedding while you have all of your friends there.
I'm there the whole week. You're coming kind of early, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's very ambitious. I'm totally down, but I think it's very ambitious. This is classic John shoot from the hip, like eat the whole elephant in one sitting.
I'm also used to always doing stuff constantly. I mean, the only place I don't do anything is when I'm on my motorcycle. But even on my motorcycle, I've done lives. I've attached it to my bike and I go live and I'm fucking riding. So, I don't know. I just feel like it's just my life.
Okay.
I bring it everywhere.
I won't say no, but also I'll invite you to just soak in the love of
Yeah.
all your friends coming to visit you and not having to work also?
Yeah, that definitely is prescribed in my intention.
Okay, well, I'm fucking prescribing it too.
Thank you for listening. Be well.
Have a beautiful week.